Oh, hold on, Steve Torrence. Steve Torrence wins the race, but more importantly, we got to make sure he's okay inside of the cockpit.
Well, let's look for some movement. We see some movement from the helmet, and this is good news that Steve is getting out of the car. These cars are designed, and the safest area is that driver compartment, and it appears that that is held up and it's done its job.
Let's look at it again. Everything going along just fine till now. Looks like that left rear tire, perhaps for whatever reason, let go.
Well, that's a pretty hard hit. You know, they're going to have to, go through the protocol of checking him for a concussion. But, the most important thing was that he got out. Now, let's take a look at what explodes. It appears to be a backfire from that supercharger, or not even, it didn't even blow up. There was something that let go. It could have potentially been a blower belt. It was off the driver's side of the car. We can't see it, but whatever it was, it went into the left side tire, and that was the first, no, the blower belt's still on there. See, so the damage was done after. I don't know exactly what happened. They're going to look at we're going to take a look at several different angles so we can find out, but it did appear, and maybe the first explosion that we heard was the tire blowing. And these Goodyear tires, they're designed, they will withstand 350 mile an hour speeds. He was only going 302 miles an hour at this point, or at least through the traps. He might have been going faster, but more than likely it was not tire failure. My bet is going to be that something got into that tire, causing the tire damage. Then what followed was the engine probably revved up and exploded after.
Quick reset. It's our top fuel points leader that just went through this very violent incident. And as that car comes to a close, Steve Torrence, first and foremost, gets out of the car okay. Dad at the starting line certainly has a lot of concern. We saw Mama Kay coming down the racetrack. Another explosion as Brittany takes the win. It's Steve Torrence that levels the top, but a tip of the cap to the Capco crew for getting this far. Brittany, meanwhile, goes 368.5. Question about the tune-up asked earlier, Brian Hewson. Jason McCullough wasted no time. He says, we cannot count that team wrong. Steve doesn't know he's lost yet, but wow, what an incredible day for him.
Well, what Steve's really wanting to know, he's wanting to get that fire addressed. He wants the fire extinguished, and the NHRA safety safari, they'll be pouring some fire aid on that immediately. But it almost appeared that he as if he did not know who won the race. Now, the side panels are very tall on these top fuel cars, and if you are in a close race, you really don't know if you won or lost. So let's check out Steve Torrence. Right there at the end, you could see the fuel system probably wasn't right. And keep in mind, this was a different machine. Now, ideally, the crew chief would want to take his fuel system, his clutch management system from what was working, what was doing so well in qualifying and in the first 2 rounds of eliminations. But the car ran good. The difference was Brittany Force ran extremely well. Now, there was 2 approaches that the Brittany Force team could have taken. You could assume that Steve Torrence and their car was wounded. I think they did the right thing to win a championship. To talk championship, you have to take it. They're not going to give it to you. 2 big booms on the day, but Torrance's day is done. Still a great effort, John Kernan, by that team.